Have you ever wondered what would happen if all living things started from the same point? Or if humans actually came from another creature, then what's our true place in this world? And if nature itself decides who survives and who doesn't, then what's the role of a creator? I've always asked myself these questions, until I came across one name that changed everything: Charles Darwin. An ordinary Englishman with a mind that turned the world upside down. It was the 19th century. The world was just tasting the thrill of the Industrial Revolution. People had unshakable faith in the church, believing God had created every creature exactly as it was. But a 20-something young man boarded a small ship called the Beagle for a 5-year scientific voyage around the world. In 1831, he set sail from England toward South America. The journey was full of storms, illness, and wonder. But the turning point came on a group of islands called the Galapagos in the Pacific Ocean. There he saw birds that looked almost the same, except for their beaks. Some sharp, some wide, some short. And Darwin noticed something strange. Each island seemed to have designed its own birds depending on the food available there. That's when a spark lit up in his mind. Maybe species aren't fixed. Maybe they change. Maybe the ones that adapt better survive and pass their traits on. But Darwin didn't speak out right away. After returning to England, he spent over 20 years collecting data, studying samples, and writing thousands of notes. Until in 1859, he finally published his famous book, On the Origin of Species. In it, he wrote, "Nature itself decides who stays and who disappears." He called this process natural selection. He argued that all species share common ancestors, and differences arise gradually through survival and reproduction. Nature wasn't a fixed painting and was a living competition. The reaction? An explosion. Churches cried blasphemy. Many said Darwin was insulting the divine order. But scientists were stunned, and that because his evidence was solid. Fossils showed links between old and new species. Neanderthal skeletons revealed how early humans differed from us. Even selective breeding proved genetic change could really happen. Today we know that 98% of human DNA is identical to chimpanzees. That single number turned Darwin's idea from speculation into a scientific pillar. Still, Darwin never said humans came from monkeys. He said we share a common ancestor. But the shorter version sounded catchier, so it spread faster. Darwin himself was a man of faith. He struggled deeply with the conflict inside him. But he chose truth over comfort. When his book came out, biology changed forever. It became the foundation for modern life sciences: genetics, ecology, and evolution. Yet the story didn't end there. In the early 1900s, Gregor Mendel, an Austrian monk, discovered how traits are passed down through peas. When Darwin's idea merged with Mendel's discovery, modern genetics was born. Then in the 1950s, Watson and Crick uncovered the structure of DNA. Now, Darwin's theory wasn't just an idea, it had molecular proof. Today, traces of evolution are everywhere. From bacteria that resist antibiotics to viruses like COVID that keep mutating, all showing that natural selection is still shaping life. According to the World Health Organization, around 700,000 people die every year due to drug-resistant bacteria. Evolution is happening right under our noses, even when we ignore it. But Darwin's impact wasn't only scientific. He changed how we see ourselves, animals, and our place in the universe. Before him, humans were the crown of creation. After him, we became one branch in an endless tree of change. Still, the theory has always had controversy. In the 20th century, politicians twisted survival of the fittest into dangerous ideas of racial superiority. Movements like Nazism fed on that misunderstanding. But Darwin never meant that. He was talking about nature, not human worth. Over time, his theory became the backbone of modern biology. And today, it even shapes evolutionary algorithms and artificial intelligence. Those algorithms work just like nature. Weak versions die off, strong ones survive. The same pattern, just in code instead of DNA. In fact, many modern achievements, from drug design to gene editing, come directly from understanding evolution. Yet big questions remain. If evolution never stops, what will humans become next? Will we keep changing naturally? Or will we rewrite our own genes and steer evolution ourselves? Maybe we already are. Maybe Darwin, if he were alive today, would say, natural selection? Now it's human selection. And that's where the story stays open. Because the real question still hangs in the air. Are we still part of nature? Or are we starting to control it? If you think the answer isn't clear yet, drop your thoughts in the comments. Maybe together we'll discover the next chapter of the story.